Hi guys, Mike here. Today I want to run you through, so I suppose, 3 typical reasons. We're just going to hit number 1 tonight, but there's 3 very common reasons why people will fail in the gym, right? And what we're looking at tonight, and the main one, is the lack of a customised training program for progression, right? And let me explain what that means. So basically, if you've been a member of a gym before, right, you'll be familiar with a program card, right? This is a common program card, and when you open it up, you have these different things inside looking at both cardio and resistance exercises. So I just blew this up very simply on a sheet here behind me, just to kind of give you an idea of where people are going wrong, right? So first of all, a lot of people will go into a gym, and you see some people, they might just go in willy-nilly and jump onto a piece of cardio and hope to start getting results. Complete waste of time, guys, I'll tell you that straight out. If you've done that in the past, no wonder you haven't been sticking to it, right? The next step is you go into some other gyms and they'll give you a program where they just put you on 20 minutes on a treadmill, 20 minutes on a cross trainer, 20 minutes on a rowing machine, and that's your workout. That is not a workout. That is, excuse my French, but that is bullshit, right? So that is not what you want to be training at. You want a program for progression, and what I mean by progression is you get a program, and it has to be a functional program. So you're covering cardio for fat loss, strength exercises for lean muscle gain, all that kind of thing, your core workout in as well, and adding a bit of intensity then to really get the metabolism fired up. So, as I said, on a normal program card, you might open it up and you'll just see a list for cardio machines, 20 minutes, 10 like I said already, and then they might give you some of the machine weights around as well. Look, it's all good and well, but what they're doing is, and I'm calling a lot of trainers out on this one, they can sue me if they want, all they're doing is just getting you in, giving you some general program and stick you in the corner and forget about you, right? So they're missing the whole point. At Ozone, our whole tagline is to help people be the best they can be, right? So if you're just getting a generic program that everyone else is getting, then that's not going to help you see results, all right? So the whole point is this, is that your program gets customized to you. Everybody is different and not everybody's going to get fit the same way. So outside of the customizing, right, you can still get a customized program now, and you could be at that for the next 6 months. There's no point to that. The body will get used to that. So you need to be progressing that program. If it's every 6 weeks, you need to be progressing it within that 6 weeks, and then changing the program and progress that new program in 6 weeks again, okay? So just to kind of give you a typical example of a program we might do here at Ozone, right? So again, you start off, it is important to warm up, so you start off doing your warm up, you do your cardio, whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that kind of thing. But as part of that, right, you should be adding in some intensity there. Now, if this is for beginners, you know, start off with a kind of a walk, run, but get in that intensity, get sweating, right? If you're advanced, break into kind of an interval training on your piece of cardio. So if you're doing a treadmill, you know, have 40 seconds off and then 20 seconds of a nice fast run, that kind of thing. So get more out of it and keep pushing yourself to do more, right? So if you can see here, right, so I'm just going to, I hope this is clear enough for you. Again, this is just to simplify it a lot, right? So as you can see, the cardio is up here, right? So we'll just say this is week. So these are your weeks, okay? Hope you can read my writing now, it's very bad. So these are your weeks, 1 to 6. So typical program, you'd have your piece of equipment. So we say a treadmill, how long you're doing on it, what speed you're doing and what level, right? So as I said, that's all good and well, but what are you doing over the course of the 6 weeks to progress that? So you should have space here at the side. Now you'll have week 7 to 12, but over the course of week 1 to 6, you should have space to track how you're progressing. So whether you're doing an extra 5 minutes, whether you're doing it that bit faster, or whether you're doing, you know, an extra 2 miles per hour. So you want to track your progress all the time and push for something more. The same goes for your resistance training down here at the bottom, right? So we pick some common examples, right? And again, it's about functional training, and coming back to that, sitting on machines is fine. Maybe it's a good place to start for very beginners, but you still want the body moving, right? The more your body moves, the more calories you're going to burn, right? So as much as possible, once you're ready to progress, get off the machines, get a functional program, you know, kettlebells, you know, movement, walking, lunges, all these kind of things. Go for that. That's where you get the better results, okay? So just for example, right, we'll take some of those exercises we said there. So we'll just say exercise 1 as kettlebells, okay? Exercise 2 is a walk and lunge. Okay. Exercise 3 are press-ups. So when you first get your program from a trainer, they'll say maybe kettlebells. So we'd say this is just for ladies at the moment, right? And you're getting into the kettlebells, right? So we'd say you start with an 8 kg kettlebell and you're doing maybe 3 sets by 12 repetitions, okay, at the start of a program. Walk and lunge, we'll just say you use body weight at the moment, okay? And again, you do 3 sets and you do 10 walks up, 10 walks back, okay? Press ups, we'll say again, it's just body weight. So you do 3 sets of that and maybe you do 10 from the knees, okay? So again, you'd have more on your program, but we're going to start here. So if you start on this and you go, right, I have a good program, you're motivated, you do it for a couple of weeks and then you realize, hold on, this is getting kind of boring, I'm not really progressing. Suddenly that turns into 8 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. It'd surprise you the amount of people we see coming in from other places where they tell us, oh, I've been on this program for the last 6 months and I'm not seeing any results. Of course you're not. It needs to be updated, it needs to be progressed. There's a principle of training called the principle of overload. And in order for the body to progress, you need to load the body beyond what you're normally doing, right? So for example, if you're doing 8 kgs, 3 sets by 12 reps, if you stay at that for 6 months, how could the body possibly get fitter, get stronger if you're staying at the same thing? We need to progress it. So if, for example, right, after 2 weeks of your training, instead of being at 3 by 12, maybe you're gone up to, over on this column, 3 by 15, okay? After 2 weeks again, so at week number 4, maybe you're gone up to 4 sets by 15. So again, it's progress, always aiming for something. And then because the body is aiming for something, you're more inclined to stick to it, you're more motivated because you're aiming for something. If it's just the same old thing, you forget your program, you have it remembered in the back of your head, you forget about tracking it. But if you're encouraged by a trainer to say, right, in 2 weeks' time, I want you to progress. So the walk and lunge are saying 3 by 10. Maybe we're doing 3 by 15 after 2 weeks. Maybe in the next week, we're adding weight in here instead of body weight. Okay, so we could be doing 3 by 15 with 6 kg dumbbells. Okay, so we're constantly progressing. And then after your 6 weeks, you get the program reviewed again and you update it, change the exercises, keep it moving, okay? Same with the press-ups. How do you progress that? You're on the knees, maybe you go 3 by 12 and then up to 3 by 15, okay? So it's all about progression, and this is one of the most common areas we see clients who come in that fail, right? They start off, as I said, they go in to do a piece of cardio, they stick at that for a while, that gets boring, they start falling off the wagon because they're not aiming for anything, they don't have the motivation to start because it's very boring. The second thing, they come in, they're on a generic program, right? So you go into some clubs around, you've probably been there yourself if you're listening to this, where you've just been put on a load of cardio for an hour and you think that's a good program because that's what the trainers are giving you. As I said, that is BS. You need a functional movement program. Now obviously there'll be different conditions if somebody has an injury, all that kind of stuff, and those allowances will have to be made as well. But generally speaking, a functional training program, kettlebells, suspension straps if they're in your club, high intensity stuff, battling ropes, all that kind of thing. Get the body moving. That's where the training, the progress comes in. And then you track that progress on your program card, and that program card then should last you about 6 weeks, right? So it's all about progress, guys. If you have something to aim for, you're more inclined to stick at it. And that's part of the second video, which we'll get into this time next week, 6 o'clock next Wednesday. So, you need to have targets, okay? And then there'll be a third reason for the following week after that. So over the next 3 weeks, we're going to be tackling the 3 common reasons. And if this is you, if this makes sense to you, hit one of your trainers wherever you are and just tell them, look, I need a functional training program, because I guarantee you, if all you've gotten is what I've described already and not one for progress, most of the people beside you on that treadmill are on the same program, and it's not going to work long term, okay? So look guys, that's it. I just wanted to check in with you on that and touch on a couple of these things and hopefully give you the ideas and the motivation to find the right solution for you. If you get value out of these videos, please do hit like. It'll help us create more videos like it that'll help more people. And if you think a friend will benefit from it as well, please share it. And don't forget to hit follow at the bottom of this video as well, because that'll give you notifications for our next live events as well. So look guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video.